he gets hit, right, by I don't know how many cars in this movie, right? And not even one broken finger. John Wick is a man of focus, commitment, and sheer fucking will. And this movie is beautiful, awesome, and the best of all, it has Keanu fucking Reeves. However, there was one problem that we found with this film. Let's warp into the Cina-Verse of John Wick Chapter 4 together.
So welcome back into the Cina-Verse, where we talk about your favorite films. And John Wick is back for some more vengeance.
John Wick Chapter 4 starts off when the High Table comes after John Wick because he killed a dude who replaced the other dude who took his finger and ring in the last John Wick film.
Yeah, that's dude.
He made me say it. So this made the High Table go all crazy.
To deal with John Wick, they sent Marquis to go after John Wick and take care of this little problem. The Marquis, to solve this little problem, he sent 3 people to assassinate John, which are Kane, Mr. Nobody, and the Elder High Table Elite.
In the previous films, we got to travel to places like New York, Italy, Casablanca, and now in this movie, we got to go to Osaka and Japan and also Paris.
Basically, the deal of this whole story, him trying to get to this duel a pistol duel that he has with Kane to lift his excommunicado. And Kane's deal was for him to get his own freedom and to keep his daughter safe. The whole film is him basically gunning down, shooting down all who stands in his way to get to this duel. By the end, his excommunicado is lifted. So spoiler alert, a big spoiler just in case you didn't watch the film, is that John, by the end of the duel, kills the Marquis. By killing the Marquis, he is shot down as well and dies and buried as a loving husband next to his wife, Helen. And the whole series comes to a full circle with the beginning of him wanting to get vengeance because of his wife, and now him dying next to his wife.
So let's warp into what makes John Wick Chapter 4 a great movie.
One thing that I really love about this film, Luca, the social concept that throughout the whole John Wick films, that there's this social concept reflects actually how our society is. You know, you have the civilians, you have the people under the table, and then you have the high table. I noticed the civilians, they don't interact with any action. Like, I was like, why don't they interact? Why aren't they afraid? Why don't they run? It's because people who are under the table are invisible. Don't see them do these things. They act behind the scenes. And the high table isn't even shown in the film. They are just mentioned, which takes it even further that no one knows who these people are. They just get orders by them.
When there are like massive action scenes, so practically nearly every scene, right? Yeah, I started to notice on my own, okay, like the civilians are behaving a little like weird.
Yeah,
like, there were ones that reacted, like what's going on? And it makes a lot of sense. This goes a lot into, like, I guess what conspiracy theorists would think about. Like in our, like there is this like invisible society within our own that actually control us. First thing that comes to mind when you watch a John Wick film, all right, and Keanu Reeves, for that matter,
kind of,
is the action. The action is beautiful.
I would say it's the best action franchise you want to get.
What an action film should be.
Yeah.
The choreography is splendid. Like Keanu Reeves, he trained
beautiful.
So much. Keep it in your pants. Keanu Reeves trained so much. He's so dedicated for this franchise. Like, you can see it. And as an action film fan, you really do appreciate it. We're introduced to a new setting for the John Wick film. In the first part of the film, we're in Japan, Osaka specifically. They really went into detail on how the action should take place within that setting. The combat style changed.
Traditional Japanese style training. Yeah. So you have katanas, we had the bow. And one thing that's really great about it is that all the action scenes are actually realistic. Like, he trained all these movements.
Keanu Reeves, he did 95% of all of his stunts.
when he falls down, how aren't you like truly almost dead at this
Or
point?
at least unconscious. When they're, I think in Germany, and they're having this fight scene in that roundabout with the cars and stuff.
Okay, I know.
There's one scene, one moment in the scene that he starts firing his gun. He fires like 25 shots. But I don't know what. He never runs out of bullets. And this is another thing. Alright, he gets hit, right, by I don't know how many cars in this movie, right? And not even one broken finger. Never mind leg, arm, fucking concussion, right? Not even one broken little finger. Right? Like, what the fuck?
My favorite thing is not the action, the cinematography of John Wick. My God, the lights. When he is fighting, you can notice that it's always blue and red. The camera angles. I noticed that the camera is always facing John Wick's face. So everything, like all the enemies comes behind. When it went over the rooms by the end, the camera is like showing the rooms from on top. And that was a really cool touch of camera movement. Even the chase scenes, the motorcycle chases, the horse chases, the cinematography on this was glorious.
We covered most of the things that we enjoyed on what makes John Wick Chapter 4 a great movie to watch. But there are certain things that I did not enjoy.
I only have one thing that we're going to mention first.
Listen, I like action films. I don't mind going to watch an action film.
Alright.
Action films, like John Wick, yes, certain scenes, they're supposed to be exaggerated. I get it. Like, it's all part of the cinematography. But for the love of God, there were 15-minute action scenes. One action scene, 15 minutes. They were long. Listen, if you are a really die-hard, pun intended, action fan, then yes, you'll enjoy them.
You're going to really love
But
them.
I think for the general movie audience who also enjoy action films,
they enjoy, but they're not like
for the general
too
movie
much
audience,
action.
you'll get tired.
Yeah, you'll get a bit tired.
You'll feel exhausted. And this is not necessarily a dig into the John Wick film.
No. We're not, just to clarify, we're not saying it's a bad thing.
No,
it's
not at all.
It's not. It's just for those people who they don't watch action on a regular basis. Yeah. This one, I loved everything about it, but I needed some pauses between a scene and another, which we didn't really get that much. However, the really quiet, calming parts were, I would say, one of the best scenes so far.
Yeah, that's why we needed more context, more just like dialogue between characters.
I would agree a bit more.
It would
behind the scenes.
It would have flowed better because it was literally like action scene to action scene to action scene. Yeah. Maybe we get like a small scene, a small dialogue between characters,
and then
put a little bit of context for plot, and then action scene.
Yeah.
Like, give me a break.
We still got a lot of context.
More information on
John Wick.
Like his origin story.
Like, we're not saying that it's a terrible thing. It's just for the general people who don't really like action films, but they like John Wick. You want to find this a bit exhausting.
Actually led to like another issue I had with the film.
What was?
Is that it was nearly 3 hours long.
It keeps you
I like the perspective that, it's like you're going on the journey with John Wick.
Yeah.
Like, he's going through a fight, you're going through a fight with him.
Yeah.
I like that perspective. They emphasized more on the action than on the actual story.
Thing is, don't forget, Luca, that it's a action-based film. John Wick is full.
Yeah, it's an action-based film, but it's still a film. There's still a story to be told.
For example, if you just want to know everything in one film or two, you're going to take a lot more films to get to know a bit more information about these films.
Like information about John Wick. What did we actually find out? Yeah, he was part of a family, and then
he wanted to get out.
Get introduced into the marquee by I think, a very interesting character, but we don't find pretty much anything about him. Like, he was
plain.
menacing. He was a great villain.
He was-
Give me more. Before I make my case,
Oh God.
please don't hate me. I'm just a guy with an opinion. I'm a big Keanu Reeves fan. Everyone loves Keanu
Everyone
Reeves.
loves Keanu.
Like-
You're breathtaking.
I saw the John Wick films this week and I love all of them. In this one, when the majority of the words that he says, this is character-wise, right? Is yeah, and I need a gun. Okay, if that's the best that this character who's gone through all of this shit and emotional turmoil throughout 4 films, give this man some dialogue. Just because it's an action film, it doesn't mean you have to limit his words to yeah and I need a gun.
Those words were powerful. The reason for this, it was a constant climax for 3 hours straight. In a climax, there isn't time for so much dialogue. For example, my favorite scene when it came to dialogue was in the beginning when he was with the daughter and they were conversing on the top of the hotel, which was a beautiful scene. We like the conversations, we like the dialogue.
Yeah, I'm not trying to take away its element.
You want a more balance.
I'm not saying replace exaggerated action scenes with exaggerated dialogue scenes.
No, then
because then that's fucking boring and I go to sleep.
We're not judging Keanu's abilities.
You're so
The
afraid that they're going to cancel us.
No,
of
because
my
just to
opinion.
make sure that we're not going against Keanu. Do you really want to go against Keanu?
No, I don't, because probably he can kick my ass. The villains. I really enjoyed Bill Skarsgård's character.
Oh yeah, I think he from
He was
all
a
of
great
the.
villain.
I think he's my favorite from all the
He
four.
was a great villain. Like,
He's my favorite.
Bill Skarsgård is a great actor. Was
Yeah.
very menacing, very
Yeah.
villain-like. It was. The thing is, we didn't see much of him. He was controlling the situation most of the time, but when it came to the climax scene, he died. I don't know. You keep this villain in the
You
background
really
all
wanted
that
him to
time.
shine. You really
Yeah,
wanted
exactly.
him
He
to
needed
shine.
that shining moment, especially with Bill Skarsgård. Yeah, you would want him to have that like remarkable scene. Why wouldn't he have that remarkable scene? A scene that you won't forget. You had this great villain in Marquis, and then you give an epic scene to the villain in the purple suit with the cards.
Oh yeah,
like
you
a
have
Gambit
something
Joker
about,
wannabe.
You have something
Right?
about that.
I
You
don't
told
know.
me.
He felt very
Jokey.
cliche, underground kingpin kind of. You mentioned kingpin.
I didn't mind him, and you had one more character you wanted
so
to talk about.
I want to talk about Kane, right?
Okay.
Which I think
Okay, you mentioned his portrait like a daredevil kind of thing. I think
Yeah.
it was an actually cool.
I don't think it's only just me. Like when we see a blind character like going on martial arts on your ass, people think Daredevil.
in certain scenes. Like I was amazed by the doorbell, those doorbell devices.
Okay,
that
he
was-
made it.
he
Okay,
made it-
there was a sense of realism.
He tried to make it a bit. They tried to make it more realistic.
That's not the problem I had with this character.
I'm just saying what I like about him.
It's just, come on. Throughout the film, especially with those glasses
Okay.
on, he looks like Ken Jeong from The Hangover. And in the final scene, when they were having the duel, in a pose with the glasses and the gun, he called the Marquis motherfucker. Straight out from The Hangover.
I don't know if it's done on purpose.
I don't think it is. It was funny. If they didn't do it on purpose, it was very, like, a little bit cliche, in my opinion. It looked comedic.
It would look.
That's the word. Comedic.
I would say one of the best sidekicks from John Wick.
All of my little things, they're little things. Overall, I still enjoyed this movie.
It's my second favorite. My favorite is John Wick 1, just because, it's nostalgic reasons, cinematography, action, even understanding more about the story and concept. Kind of, it's the best film from all 4, and it's the best action franchise there is.
Final ratings. Because going out of the cinema and thinking about all of the things that I have just said,
Yeah.
I said I'll give it a 6. But
6.
it's been a week since we've seen it.
Yeah. And
So-
what changed?
Nah, I'll raise it a little bit.
Okay.
I'll give it a 7.
Just because so much action for me, I give it a good 9. If they paced it a bit more, give a bit more pauses, I would have given a good 9.8.
We hope you enjoyed our John Wick Chapter 4 review. If you enjoyed our video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Or Nick will come over and kick your ass.
I don't... No, what? I did not sign up for this.